Hey, how you guys doing? This is Pretty Show, and this is Healthy Wealthy Thinking, and this is talking to Citrone Robinson of JCI Agency. How you doing, Citrone? How are you feeling today?
Man, I'm doing great. Ready to get this thing going, man. Back, to holler at y'all this wonderful Wednesday, as we call it. Good to see you guys back in the house, the ones that could attend. I know we tried to go on last Thursday and we had some technical
Oh yeah,
difficulties.
man. I don't know what they was doing, but they was like shutting us down
Uh,
on IG.
yeah,
Yep.
but we back in full effect, man.
Back
So
in full effect. Back in full
ready to
effect.
get this thing going.
Okay.
So
So the title today is "What Does Master P, Ray Kroc, Walt Disney, and J.C. Penney have in common?"
right.
That's
Well, that's a broad spectrum of people, right? So
indeed.
how does these four characters have something in common, right? How do the four individuals that are, you know, world renowned, you figure J.C. Penney's is probably the oldest out of all these, people as far as, being known for what they did to be successful. Then you
Indeed.
look at Ray Kroc, right? He's the third in line, right? When you look at people that are successful and what they built as far as the McDonald's brand, and then you look at Walt Disney, what he created, in the with the Disney World, Disney movies. You can't go probably a day if you got kids that want to watch something on Disney, talk about something on Disney, or something that he created.
Or
You
go to
got Disney.
Disney.
I go to Disney, right? And the tickets ain't cheap, man. I remember. I'm gonna tell you a story about Disneyland just real quick.
All right.
So my youngest daughter was probably close to a year old, right? So we're talking about 2003.
Mm-hmm.
We all go to Disneyland, 2003. Me, my wife, my niece. They was both like babies, not even walking yet, barely walking. So we all go to Disneyland, man. In 2003, just think about 2003. So I take all the kids, niece, nephews, about nine, 10 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tickets ain't cheap.
Nope.
Tickets is probably close to 150 per ticket now today. So just think 2003, I'm taking all these people and it's on my dime.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So I'm just gonna tell you, it wasn't cheap that day,
Right.
right? They didn't have a 2 part pass. They didn't have a none of those little incentives that they had today. For you guys to get the hopper pass and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted that's a story about that I'll never forget about Disneyland. Rarely go. That's a special occasion to go to Disneyland. I ain't
Hey,
been back since, man. I used to go all the time as a kid. You know,
hey,
and after
hey,
that time, I ain't been back, man. I'm telling
hey,
you, I ain't been back. I'm like, they ain't get my money again,
man.
man.
Let me tell you this. Disney will make a broke dude mad the whole time you
I'm telling you, the whole time you there, man, 'cause
there. You know
everything
you
gone.
he don't want to pay for nothing. Like, man, like I ain't how much will
Every
I
time you
go?
turn around, yeah,
Yeah,
every time you turn around, something costs, man.
yeah.
Uh, and then the last person that's on the list, man, is P Miller, Percy Miller. Everybody knows him as Master P. So what do all these people have in common? Like, what do they have in common that most people probably wouldn't even think about, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell you that these guys have built huge empires, right? But it's all based on one singular thing that they all did that they have in common, right? So I don't know if you want to share it. I can share it.
Man, you rolling. I'm
So,
gonna I'm gonna let you roll, bro.
so yeah, but they all well, Master P's was a little bit. He's the only one that was a little bit different. He got an inheritance, so he
Yeah,
was a recipient
yeah.
of a policy. So, like you people, I mean, not you people per se, but the people that are listening, he had an inheritance to create his wealth. So he received money from a policy to start his first record business or record store that turned into this hip hop empire that's still that turned into movies, that turned into, his own, what you call it, his own cereal,
Man,
snacks, all kind of stuff, his own shoe line, all these different different clothing lines, all these different things today that you move, like I said, even movies, TV shows, you name it, all
right.
from a $10,000 inheritance.
And the thing about it, he teaches his kids ownership. So that
Yes,
is has it's now has become generational wealth. It has flowed
exactly.
over into generational wealth. Um, but I'm like, how you would name all the stuff that P. Miller have? I'm like, he just might have his own air, like this P.
Yeah.
Miller air right here.
And then you got to think. I just read the other day that he was in talks to buy Reebok, right? So that was one of the newest things that he's talked about.
Yeah,
And that he's supposed to be coming out with his own luxury automobile in
about
the
time,
United States,
about
right?
time, man. That has been
So
my question for many years,
yeah,
many
so
years.
that's already in the works. So he hired a guy, made him the CEO of the company from Tesla. He came from Tesla actually, but he looks like you and me, and he's running a company. So for that luxury brand, if you I'll tell you guys, just look it up. You guys find the name of the company if you guys don't know it already. I'm not gonna spill it because they have some packages in there that I looked at. I'm like, oh, if I tell somebody they might want. No, I'm just joking. you know, but look it up, man. That's
Oh man, hey, I was actually like, what? I was like, wait a minute. Like, what
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, they have a thing in there that says, I'll spill it, man. They have a thing that says you can invest in the company, right? You can get an
Mm,
investment package
right,
into this company. So that's, and I don't want to keep it a secret. We all here to share information. So I was just joking about that, but we all want. But they have an investment package where you can invest in the company. I was just joking with y'all, but but he has a package you can invest in. But let's go to the next. I'm gonna go from the most recent, then I'll work my way backwards, right? So
okay,
I'll work my way backwards to the second guy, which is Ray Kroc, right? So people say this when you hear about Ray Kroc, they say he stole the McDonald's brothers business, right? So that's the story we hear all the time, right? That he
yeah,
stole the idea and made it profitable, right? Even in the movie, it kind of portrays that, right?
man. The
But
movie they do was cold blooded.
yeah, right. But McDonald's wouldn't even be alive if Ray Kroc did not take out cash, the cash
Right,
value in his life insurance policies to get McDonald's to be afloat,
right,
right? So I'm gonna just paint that picture for you. He took the cash value of his life insurance policies to fund McDonald's, right? So we know, look at McDonald's. When I was a kid, it already had over 1 billion served, and that was in the '80s. So you think about in the '80s, if they already had over a billion served, what is it like today in 2021, right? To have so just think about that dynamic.
man.
And this was in the '60s, right? In the '60s. So in the '80s, they already had over a billion people served. So just think, from '60 to '80. Well, yeah,
20 years
yeah,
span.
it was 1961, and then you think 1961 to 1980, 84, 85. I
Hey,
remember going to seeing over a billion served on their sign at the McDonald's that I was going to as a kid, right?
them 70s and
They are,
80s, them 70s
yeah.
and
So
80s
just
McDonald's was something
right.
else, man. When they had a
So
little
I'll tell you,
playground.
yeah. So I'll tell you another thing. You think McDonald's serves majority of the population, right? They think they want the market share of the population, but truth be told, that McDonald's only serves 6% of the population
Man,
every day. So that small market share is worth multiple billions, maybe even trillions of dollars today, right? From that corporation and all the franchises that they built. Because you can't just go in and buy McDonald's. You got to have a million in assets just to buy McDonald's, right? So, and their purpose is not really the burger; it's the real estate that it sits on. So I'm giving you guys some game, but I don't want. But if you guys research what the McDonald's brand really stands for, it's really a real estate company that sells burgers and
Yep,
fries and
sir.
fries. So that's their story.
You put the
Um,
transition on it.
yep, exactly. So, but there, just think about that brand and how it all got off the ground to where it is today. It was from a life insurance policy, two life insurance policies that he had to fund that company. So I want you guys to understand that. So that's number two, right? That's number two of the four we're talking about today. Um, and then the third person is, of course, is Walt Disney, right? So Walt Disney was already successful with movies and and cartoon characters and live shows before they opened Disneyland,
Right.
right? So he was very successful, coming up, in the movie industry and the cartoon industry, um, prior to having an actual theme park, right? So, but in 1955, how they opened Disneyland, because that was the first, right here in Anaheim, California,
Right.
they opened Disneyland in 1955, and it was through because the banks wouldn't even give him a loan to open the theme park. So guess what he had to do?
Hmm.
He had to borrow cash value. I mean,
Again.
cash. He had to borrow the cash from his life insurance policy to start Disneyland.
Indeed.
So you see that. So I really want to. That's just three of the people that we're talking about today. So that shows you the value of what life insurance can do if you understand how it works, right? Because these are three people that took that policy and made them. They'll never be forgotten in history.
Not
These
at
people
all,
won't
man.
be forgotten. You will always remember these names,
Kids come
right?
out wanting McDonald's. You can't drive
Yeah.
by McDonald's with a little. You can't do it.
So you will not forget McDonald's. You will not forget Disneyland
Oh
for
no, you
sure.
won't get Disney.
With Master P doing his thing, I'm pretty sure nobody's ever going to forget him for
Nope.
sure because he set his legacy for a lifetime,
Yeah.
right? So you think about these are people that have, you know, took what they had in life insurance or insurance period and made multitudes of money with that and left a huge legacy behind.
Right.
So, and then the oldest person or the first person to actually take advantage of it that we're talking about today is actually J.C. Penney, right?
Man.
So me as a kid, I mean, I remember kid, I remember I'm aging myself, man. Remember Kid and Play, and
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one movie, what was it?
House party.
What was House Party? Was a
Yeah.
house party, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Hey man, what do you got on? What are you wearing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, man, this is J.C. Penney, top of the line. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he
Right.
started flexing and but I think about that. Just think about that in the 80s and 90s, J.C. Penney was still talked about in film and in TV, right? Not that he was, but that's how big the brand is.
Yeah. And
It's
then
still big today. They haven't closed their store. It's a lot of stores that's still open, right?
yeah.
May not be as known, but what he did is he took the same concept, used cash value in his life insurance policies to meet payroll and the day-to-day expenses to keep the store open during the Great Depression, because
Right.
that's how he kept his doors open during the Great Depression, is by using the cash value and his life insurance policy. If he didn't have that in place to sustain the business, we
Man.
wouldn't even know about who J.C. Penney was today. We wouldn't even know who they were.
Lord.
But that has sustained the company from 100 years later, because that was 1921. I think they got started, something like that, during the Great Depression. So of course that's 100. We're 100 years later today, right? But I think
Yeah.
it said when close to 100 years, even if it was 1929, right? That's still 100 years,
A long
close to
time
100
ago.
years later, that
Yeah.
store is still known today. You know,
Right.
I remember getting me some J.C. Penney clothes. I remember, when I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, a couple of my friends were
There's
stealing stuff out of J.C. Penney, right?
a
So
501. I can see.
yeah,
I can see you now. 501s with a crease in it. Yeah, plain gold chain. I already see you, man.
yeah, you know it. That was them 90s, man. The 90s babies. late 80s and 90s babies, man. So, but that's what I want to tell you guys about. So when you think about these four things, Percy, what would you like to tell the people as far as looking at these four people and what they have in common? How do you take that and apply that information to whatever you want to do with it, with your business, with your personal life? How does it apply to educate the people that we're talking to today?
How does it apply? It applies this way because it's showing you how it's showing you three different ways how this has benefited those people. It benefited Master P by being passed on. It helped the rest of them while they were living. And I'm quite sure they still had some more to pass on because look at what they built. So that's where I see like how they utilized it and how it could be utilized just anybody who has the information. Like once you have the information, it's hard not to put it into action.
Yeah, like I said, we're just think about what we're telling you today, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be more people in the future that have the same tactics, even though they're not as famous, right? Or they're not as known. But I'm pretty sure if we could teach somebody that the same information that they take advantage of today, and to pass it on to do the same thing that they did in order either to have an inheritance or to even set it up in their own business to keep maybe they may need that policy to keep their own business alive or start their own business
Yeah.
or keep it can be used for a multitude of things.
And also I'll put it this way. To elaborate on that question a little bit more. Now, let's say this. Imagine if that information is applied to your children. If you set each one of your children up with that gift that could give while they're living or when they're gone, it still continues to give. Why wouldn't you do it now with the information? You start with them. Because you imagine if you may have birthed a Walt Disney, you may have birthed a Ray Kroc, you may have birthed, a J.C. Penney. You never know. But it's like you have to put those policies and plans in place for them to actually sprout and grow and become that. Because without that seed being planted by yourself, you really don't have nothing to grow if you never planted the seed in the first place.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement, man. And we always want to protect the babies, man. Our duty is to leave something for the babies. That's our duty is to make sure that we set the precedents to make it better for up and coming and future generations, that we leave a legacy to, that we leave them a legacy, not of poverty, not of having to just struggle to get by day to day, but leaving like he said, leave an inheritance for our children's children, right? To sustain themselves,
Yeah.
have freedom of choice, freedom of what you want to do, to have the liberty to, if they don't want to, so-called work for the man, they have enough money or enough resources that they don't have to necessarily do that. We
Nope.
want to set them up for success, not for failure. And then they have the freedom to choose whatever they want to do. That's the
Right.
best gift you can give somebody in life, to give the freedom to choose what they want to do,
Right.
for sure. So,
Indeed. That's like Proverbs 13:22.
right.
Yeah.
You gotta leave it for your kids, right?
I'm gonna tell you, I don't know too many scriptures, but I know that one. I'll put it out.
Yeah, it's important. It's very important. And just to cap, talk about on the call that we had this morning, right? And just listening to one of the mentors say that he went to church and he was taking his kids to church, and struggles along to getting to church, didn't feed the kids, blah blah blah, but getting there, and then the preacher says, it's our duty to become wealthy.
Right.
Right. So just think about that. It's our duty to acquire wealth.
Right.
Right. But don't be a fool once you earn that wealth. That's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Is once you get it, you got to be smart with it. You got to understand that it's a process of, because what they say, a fool and his money will
Soon be departed.
part, will part. So you got to be wise once we want to teach you wealth building strategies. That's the key
Indeed.
to everything we talk about. Is
Indeed.
to wealth building strategies. Um, so we can provide any of that information for you to learn to build wealth, learn to build assets, learn what an asset is versus liability, and work towards building assets and minimize liabilities. That's the what we want to stress to you guys today, for sure. So
Yeah. Indeed. That's what the whole thing is about. Is about you passing on and literally passing on. Like you got that's the bottom line.
oh
That's
yeah,
the bottom
oh
line.
yeah.
Like
So I'm pretty sure these guys, all these people, in order for the legacy to pass on, and for the wealth to just keep building, is they did some. Pretty sure they did something else with this money, right? Or
indeed.
and I'm pretty sure they had some sort of estates in addition to life insurance, right?
Man. Uh,
So
what is
trust, exactly.
yeah,
Trust.
that's
Exactly. So,
oh, man.
we real big on teaching you guys about obtaining an estate for yourself, because that's the only way you're gonna really be able to pass on wealth, and you have the say in how it's transferred. That's the key
Right.
to everything, right? And I'm talking about whether you do put life insurance in the trust or not, whatever way you want to go, we can still, put you guys on the right path to what you want specifically for your future. But just understand that a lot of people out here don't have the right information that they're giving you about,
Ah, man.
estate planning. So we want to provide you the right information as far as how to plan your estate,
Tax
right?
buster. The tax buster proof.
Yeah. So
A bunker of tax.
yeah, like I said, it's a learning process. It's an everyday learning process, man. But I'm here to, once I get it, I'm here to spread the word,
Man.
for sure. So, but it's definitely going to be coming up in one of our packages that we're going to launch here pretty soon. We're putting it together right now. We're going to have a package coming out. It's going to have the estate planning in there as well. So I want you guys to be on the lookout for that. Like I said, we're putting it together now. It's not complete, but we're strategizing how to bring it to market. So, but it's coming real soon. So I just want you guys to be on the lookout for that package, for
Indeed.
sure. Um, and be prepared to pay some price points for it, that because we're not gonna just gonna give it away. As we say, in order for you to learn something or to have something of value, you got to have some skin in the game.
Staying in the
So
game.
you got to have some skin in the game. You got to put your money where your mouth is. If you want to learn something, and it show value, then it's going to be a cost associated with it, because people don't, if they don't pay for it, they don't value it.
Indeed.
So I just want you guys to be prepared to, what we're going to be putting out here is going to have plenty of value, plenty of education. So be prepared to be provided that value, and we're going to show you guys how to take off and leave a huge legacy. You know.
Indeed. Indeed. Man, I don't know how to follow up with that one, bro. Like, hey, I'm like, indeed. Like, indeed. I summed it up. I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah,
I ain't got nothing to say
yeah.
about
So,
that. You,
so we just want to, just like I said, just provide the information for you guys, man. Be on the lookout. Hopefully this live will go live tomorrow on IG for sure. Just be on the lookout for IG. We had some technical difficulties last week where
man,
we couldn't go live on IG. So our apologies for whoever was tuning in and couldn't get to see us on the IG live. I'm apologizing right now, because we were attempting to go live several times, and it just wouldn't work. We were trying it for a whole hour, literally back and forth on each other's lives, and it just wouldn't connect. where we could both get on at the same time to provide this information. So my apologies to you guys that were attempting to tune in. Uh, my sincere apologies. Will work. See if it can work tomorrow, hopefully, at the same time as we are right now. So,
Man, I like this. If it ain't gonna work on IG, find us on YouTube.
yeah, find us on YouTube. Right.
We gonna have to be a flip flop. Okay, you
Right.
have to just nope. We heading over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if something happened over there, it's a conspiracy.
Right. they want to shut us down, man. They trying to shut us down before we get active. We gonna have to go underground, man, and open up some little what's that Patreon page or something just to get y'all this information, man. So, but that might be the next tool. Is we might go live on Patreon, man, to get you guys. Hey, you got to pay for it
for a full course, like with slides, everything.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we're putting together for you guys, man. So for sure. So be on the lookout.
Let me ask you a question. I got an email from Wealthy Mindset.
Okay. What did it tell you? What did it say to you, man?
Wealthy Mindset, huh? And you have like a book or something that's out right now, don't you?
Oh yeah, man. I got an ebook, man. That's out right now. So, it's talking about entrepreneurship, for sure. I should have posted it on here, man. So, but be on the lookout, man. Like I said, I got an ebook. It's already out. It's on my IG page. You guys can go and purchase it on my IG page. Percy got a book out, man. So,
hey, detox.
This stuff is already published. Healthy Wealthy Thinking has an ebook as well. I have an ebook myself as well, and we want to provide you guys value. It's a great book, man. Pick it up. Right now it's the first ebook that I put out, so it's a not a huge cost. It's affordable for sure, but future ebooks, just be prepared. Like I said, this is the first one. It's like a mixtape, as you say, right? Coming out. I'm gonna keep them coming. So, so be on the so be on the lookout for these ebooks. It's great value on both of our ebooks. One is on, for sure about, healthy. It's about detoxing the healthy and right way, from Healthy Wealthy Thinking. So be on the lookout for that. And it teaches you how to, all the meals you might need to, to prep for. I think it's vegan, guys. So that's what I think is vegan. So because he believes in, making your body clean, purified, and not with all those extra additives that you don't need to survive. So, and then we want to hit you with the mindset, right? So the mindset in my book is talking about entrepreneurship, how to prepare this to be successful entrepreneur, right? How to prepare this mindset to be successful in entrepreneurship.
Right.
So it's the key to getting that information is we have to put it out there for you to get it. So so just go look us up. It's on my IG page. I'm actually even posted on my Facebook page, so you guys will see it there as well. So I think it's published. I'm pretty sure it's published on my Facebook, but I'm not sure.
Published on your Facebook? I mean, on your IG?
On my IG, yeah, it's on my IG page.
What's your IG, man?
The Wealthy Entrepreneur Mindset.
The Wealthy?
Yeah. Yep, The Wealthy. The Wealthy Entrepreneur Mindset.
How you spell entrepreneur? How you spell that?
ENTREPRENUER.
right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Entrepreneur.
Preneur.
And mindset. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn this program.
If it's a link, I'll put the link in the chat, man.
Do what you do.
It's there. I'll put it in the chat so they can see it. I posted in the chat.
I got it going across the screen right now, man.
Okay.
Let's see, you got a chat also as well. Okay.
Yeah. So I just put it in the chat. If you guys want to see that, it's in the chat.
Okay.
But that's the Linktree page. It has some other stuff on there as well. It has my actual website also. So all that's in on my Linktree page. So my ebook is there, and everything else to go with it. So you guys have full access, full reign to make that purchase and support our businesses for sure.
Indeed. So we've been on here for about like 40 minutes or 30,
Yeah.
like so odd minutes.
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
Yeah. So
yeah. So the newsletter is on there. Also, you can sign up for our newsletter. We do have our like I said, our pack coming out. It's not actually out yet, but I put it on my page to just be prepared for it. So
right on, man.
On my link tree, so it is there.
Right on.
And you gotta broadcast yourself, man.
Hey, hey. Let me see. I'll put it like this: it's at Healthy Wealthy Thinking on IG, at Healthy Wealthy Thinking on YouTube, at Healthy Wealthy Thinking at what we got TikTok, and at Healthy Wealthy Thinking on what's that? The yellow.
Facebook.
Nah, well, Facebook.
Is that Snapchat? Is that the one?
Yeah. So it's like at Healthy Wealthy Thinking everything except Twitter.
Okay.
So like I have an ebook. It's called Natural Detoxing, right? Natural detoxing strategies. So it shows you how to detox with natural foods. I also have a free ebook that's available. It's the 10 tips to create wealth. So you can download that book. Like it's free, and you can read it, and it's give you kind of just like the mindset of what insight of things that you need to actually how you will have to structure your thought process to get everything in line for you to be on that path. So yeah, that one's free. So pretty much it. I'm done. I gotta run and help my daughter with her volcano project before I have my ass in the damn doghouse or something. But so with that being said, that's just Sean Robinson. I'm Percy Sheldon, and this is Healthy Wealthy Thinking, and signing out.
All right, guys. You guys have a good day. Talk to you guys soon.